And what we're trying to say with this Silence the Violence Day, no one day is going to by itself change the day. But I think what we're trying to say here as a collection of community people is that it takes all of us to get this job done, that our message to young people is that we love you, that we care about you, that we know that you need hope and opportunity, and we're here to do as much as we possibly can to make sure that that happens. We're now deploying the police in what we call geographic accountability. We've divided the city up into 3 public safety districts. That's the basis for community policing, because now the police are being deployed routinely in districts and in neighborhoods so that they can learn the rhythm, the reality of the neighborhood. People can begin to understand and know who they are. Once you get that going, you then develop trust and confidence, and you enhance the ability to communicate. You bring the citizenry and other non-profit organizations and other volunteers into that. Now you've got community policing. One of the people who inspired me in my youth was Martin Luther King, and his point was that nonviolence is not solely or simply a tactic, it's an alternative way to live. And what we're trying to do is to say to our young people and to say to this community, we've desperately got to find alternative ways to live. And we've got to live peacefully with each other, we've got to live in nonviolence with each other, and all of the different reasons that come together to create crime and violence have to be resolved. I think the chief would agree with me that while the police have an important role to play, it's only one role. They cannot do this by themselves. It requires all of us, and I think each of us standing here before you in our own way have a great deal to bring to the table. The voters in 2004 said they wanted an end strength of 803 police officers. We've never had 803 police officers. Back in January, I said we're going to bring this community together and do whatever we need to do so that by the end of the year, we're at 803. Right now, we're at 778. We just put 30 new police officers on. That's more than we've had in 20 years, and I guarantee you to a moral certainty that by the end of this year, we not only would be at 803, we'll probably be at 834. So that the number of police officers there, then we can start talking about how we get more police officers out of the cars, patrolling the community, patrolling the streets and working. Next is how do we bring in voluntary organizations like the Guardian Angels, and as most of you now know, that the police chief, with our consultation with each other, we now have reached out to the Guardian Angels to help us in some of these business districts. They've responded. What we want to make sure that we do is grow our own and expand that capability. We're also talking about bringing in private security firms to help us with that. I think we can find some redevelopment money to sort of help us work in tandem with the business community and public resources to get all those things done. We also have deployed 20 outreach workers who have street credibility in several parts of our community, who are reaching out to young people on the streets, trying to move them away from crime, open doors of opportunity, and engage in referral of services. And then finally, there are a number of other services that we're engaged in. For example, today, there is a job fair. We've now had more than 6 job fairs and opportunities to bring young people and employers together, because we think that bringing people and jobs together makes sense when people have a stake in the community.
It's very important that the mayor come out to these kind of events and show people that this is an opportunity for them, not just to meet him, but that he is providing opportunity for them to have a different path to get an education and get training and other things other than running the streets and involved in some of the activities that's negative in our community.
My name is Tava. I work with Covenant House. We brought out a bunch of clients.
This event is really important just so that organizations can be seen and that we can have a network together. Like, we can know that Destiny Arts Center is in North Oakland by Emeryville. We know that Ella Baker Center and Silence the Violence is at 40th and Broadway. We know that Youth Uprising is in East Oakland at 88th and MacArthur. And really what it is it puts a public face on a movement for change.
Pleasure to meet you. Is this your sister?
Yeah.
Twin?
the mayor's office has been very helpful and very accommodating as we try to work together. We who have a hand in the community, and you know, the mayor's office as well as city council, all of us have worked together in trying to create some solutions for the city.
We can represent a force for change in our community, and we can do it on the ground level. We can do it by networking with other organizations and by just talking to normal people. I mean, I'm happy to see Mr. Dellums out here. You know, I'm happy to see that he's going around and meeting people and having one-on-one interactions, because without that relationship, it doesn't mean anything.
If you don't have some sort of relationship with what's going on in the community, you can't initiate any kind of change. You're out of touch, you know, and it is good to see Mr. Dellums out here.
Public Authority for In-Home Supportive Services. We hire and train home care workers.
He came out to my community a few weeks ago in the Fruitvale district, and so I know he's been trying to show his presence in the city. And
Yeah, we both live in East Oakland, and we see how important it is for the community to come together.
Rita, how are you? You from Wells Fargo?
We are from Wells Fargo. We're here today to give some information out for jobs in the retail branches.
Thank you so much.
No problem. I'm glad to be here.
I really appreciate that. I wish that there were a silver bullet. I'd pull it out and say, this is it. In the next second, we're going to end it. But we know that's not the real world. So we have to get up every single day, diligently going about the business of combating the issues of crime and violence. As I said before, we can't take our marbles and go home. We live here. This is our community, and we've got to save it. And that means we've got to get up every single day trying to make sure that we deal with these issues and that we expand the range of options in order to try to do it.